going on next. Hey, this has been a Rich Live and Lady L production. I will see you guys Saturday. All right. Make sure you read your emails. All right. So we'll see you soon. All right. Love you guys and see you.
Hi, and welcome to the Girl Boss Life Academy. I am Dr. Marcia, and I am your Master Destiny Life Coach. And I specialize in helping women to discover who they are, to decide what they want, and then to deliver on their destiny. But what is a girl boss? And I believe every strong woman is powered by the girl boss inside, who is strong, who is tenacious, who is powerful, but who also needs to be encouraged, who also needs to be supported, and who also needs to be loved. And that's what we do here at the Girl Boss Life Academy. And so we help you to redefine who you are, help you to refocus on your goals, and also helps you to redirect your path so that you get to that destination. I remember when I needed that life coach, the decades upon decades of me not knowing the answers, me not feeling confident to make the decisions I needed to make. And so that is what we do here at Girl Boss Life Academy. I use my transformational coaching method to help you to boss up both in life and in a leadership. For those that are ready, go ahead and click and register to get my free gift to you. And you can also learn more about the coaching program. It's time to boss up both in life and in leadership.
Good evening and welcome. And this is to the MSE Nation. I heard that on the last show with Lady L and Coach Rich. This is MSE Nation. Say hashtag, how are you? Good evening. I am Dr. Marcia and I am your Master Destiny Life Coach. And this is the first show of 2024. Good evening. Good evening. I want to see you in the chat. Say hello. Happy New Year. I cannot wait to get into this. This is the new season. This is the winter season number 2 of Up Sis Up. And what we do here, this is Women's Empowerment Radio, but it also affects men. Okay, even though there's a focus, because I am this way, I am the girl boss. So I'm going to have to talk about women's empowerment. But today, this is just empowerment. Okay, this is just empowerment. And as we get into this, again, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I am excited about what this year has to offer. And if you are just in the chat, say hello, say Happy New Year, so that I know that we are good. Thank you, Ronnie, for dropping that link in here at the MSE Network. And I had the opportunity to catch a little bit of the Rich Live show with Coach Rich, as well as Lady L. And they were talking about inspiration. They were talking about discipline. They were talking about goals and talking about vision board. And we're going to continue that conversation, but we're going to do it we're going to do a spin on it, because I like to do a little bit of spin, because here at Up Sis Up, what we do is we help you to rise up. We help you to stand up or to speak up, and we help you to boss up, both in life and in leadership. And leadership is one of those things that we need more of. Okay. And I like to take it from a life coaching perspective, because that's what I am, right? I take it from we have to lead ourselves first. We have to get control of who we are and where we're trying to go. Coach Rich said, if there's no discipline, you will find yourself in the exact same spot on December 31st, 2024. And I want you to raise your hand if you want to be in the same spot. Anybody? No. Nobody wants to be in the same spot. But I guess the question is, what are you going to do in order to make that happen? And I'm shouting now. I see music in the house. I see Ronnie. Thank you so much. And so I want to know, did you make a resolution? Okay. If you're all in the house, I want you to say, did you make a resolution? And if you did, kind of tell me what it is. And we know that there are going to be some resolutions that we always tend to make, okay? There's going to be something about, something about health, exercise. Maybe you picked up a few extra pounds over Thanksgiving and the holidays and Thanksgiving. After Halloween candy, it's kind of like there seems to be like a little slide that we tend to go down. Am I the only one? But we always have that health New Year's resolution. The second thing that there always is usually is a financial resolution. Maybe you spend a little bit too much. Maybe you are going to try to budget. Maybe you are going to do some investing. Maybe you just want to get a handle on all the things. Maybe you're going to try a new stream of income. There's always that financial goal. And if you have another New Year's resolution, go ahead and drop that into the chat as well. One of the things that came out, or that we're getting an update on the MSE Nation. And right now we are close to, if not over, 400,000 viewers. So listeners, even though you may not be in the chat, we have folks in 12 countries that are listening in across the MSE network. So when Lady L, Coach Rich, when they said MSE Nation, we are talking about local, but we're also talking about global. We're talking about international exposure. And so if you're able to, drop something in the chat, but we are all over. We're all over, okay? So we're talking about resolutions, what you decided to do. And I do want to hear if you came up with a resolution, I want you to go ahead and put that in the chat. And as we get ready to move forward with that resolution, there's some things that need to happen. And so Music says, she says to stay healthy and to complete her goals, right? Complete her goals. And I love those. And we're going to talk about how to make sure those things happen as well as we get closer or more deeper into this conversation. And so as we are thinking about our goals, the thing that needs to happen is some motivation. Okay, the thing that needs to happen is some inspiration. And who knew that January 2nd is a national holiday? Okay, it is Motivation and Inspiration Day. It's a national holiday. It's a national day. And how fitting is it that it happens the day after New Year's Day? It's the highest, your motivation, your inspiration is at the highest point, I would say, today and yesterday. And as I researched this National Day of Motivation and Inspiration, I thought it was very interesting on how this all came about. And there was a motivational speaker, okay, and his name is Kevin McCrudden. And what happened is that after 9/11, okay, with the bombing, or not the bombing, but the planes crashed into to the Twin Towers. After that, at the end of that year, Keith did something kind of special. What he did is he petitioned that January 2nd would be a national day of motivation and inspiration, because we were so torn, so hurt by over 3,000 men and women being killed in that terrorist attack, that he says, you know what, let's make a day so that we are encouraging, we are celebrating motivation, where we are celebrating and encouraging inspiration. And so on today is a national day. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add some additional encouragement. We're going to add some additional inspiration as we celebrate today, and to set this year off right. The theme that I have for this show, Ups is Up, is to say yes to more in 2024. Okay, say yes to more in 2024. And as we kind of move into this space, there's something that needs to happen before we say more. Okay, before we say yes to more. Okay, and if you have an idea, you can put it in the chat, or if you are listening by way of the airwaves here at MSC Network, I'm going to talk about the two things that are necessary before you can say yes to those goals that you put on your list. Okay, and so the first thing we have to do is that we have to step back and get perspective. Okay, we have to step back and get perspective. And the thought I'm going to share is that a lot of times when we're wanting, because Christmas just passed, there are things that we think we want. Okay, there's that the object. This is something that you can buy, and we say that we want it. And how many times have we bought things for our children that they said they wanted it, but the day after or 5 seconds later after they've opened it, they either say they're bored or they're playing with the thing that they were playing with yesterday. The same thing happens to us. There are times when we say that we want that shiny new thing. We want the vehicle. We want the purse. We want the outfit. We want the shoes. We want the whatever. But then after we get it, we try it on, we rip the tag off, we wear it, we carry it, we drive it. At a certain point, the shine starts to wear off. Okay? And so the perspective piece is being able to step back and say, you know what? Is this what I really want? Is this what I really want to spend my money on? Is this what I really want to spend my resources on? Will this make me happy longer than 5 seconds or 5 days or 5 weeks? And so as you're thinking about the goal that you set, I want to ask you, do you really want it? Okay. And the thing that's connected to, do you really want it, is the why behind it. Okay. Music mentioned to stay healthy. Okay. I'm going to ask you, Music, what does that actually mean? You know, can we get specific? And for those that are listening, what is your specific goals? We talked about we talk about SMART goals in general. Okay. They are small, they're realistic, they're attainable, they're time sensitive, all those things. Be as specific as possible as you are crafting your goals for 2024. But we're talking about getting perspective and getting an understanding as to why you want what you want. Okay, so that's the first thing. We have to take a step back, get perspective. Is this really what I want? Is it grounded in my why? And if it's not, change it. Okay, decide on what the why is that's going to keep you motivated. Okay, what's that why that's going to keep you inspired? What's the why that's going to keep you getting up and executing the plan? Okay, so the second thing that we need in order to say yes to our goal, I say yes to what it is that we want, is that you have to want more. Okay? You're going to have to want it. Sometimes we say we want to, let's say, I don't know, say we want to get the new job. Okay? Maybe it is we want more money, and that's why we want the new job. Or say we want to be in the supervisory level. We want to be in leadership, but we don't like conflict. Okay, we don't like conflict resolution. We don't like negotiating. We don't like having to fire someone. We don't like all the things about the job, but we want the job. The question is, do we really want it? And the next question is, what are you willing to do in order to get it? Okay, so we're talking about our goal and the two things that you have to do in order to get to that place of saying yes. And when we do say yes, we're saying yes to what I call the open door. Okay, so we're taking perspective, we're taking a step back, and we're saying, you know what? Do I really want it? Or is it fleeting? Yes, that new whatever, okay, that designer, whatever. Yes, it's going to look good for a while, but eventually it's going to start to wear. When you take it in to get it clean, because you know you can't wash it, or do we want to spend that extra money to take it to the cleaners? Okay, that goes for the cars. Okay, a lot of if you got a new car, I want you to shout it out. Say, say new car in the chat. Let me know what some of the things that you did get for yourself, or that you gave out, okay, gave away. All right. So I bought my son a higher end camera. Okay. He said he wanted it. He told me his why, and I went ahead and got it for him. He seems excited. Okay. You know how us parents do. We're going to sit back and wait. We're going to take a peek. So for that purchase that you gave yourself, or that you got, how long are you going to sit and look for it and wait for it, okay, and use it? All very important, okay? So we have to take a step back, get perspective, understand our why, and then we're going to decide if we really want it and what is it that we are trying to do. All right. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and share some of the gifts that you got this season. I'm looking for the person who got a new car, because that's always a good one to get. Okay. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And we're talking about motivation. We're talking about inspiration. And we're talking about how we are going to say yes to more in 2024. All right. So so now we've established that this is what we want. Okay. We've gotten perspective on it. Now, how do we get to the goal? Okay. Yes, we have SMART goals, but now what's the implementation? What's the action to get us there? And I'm going to rely on what the national holiday is today, which is motivation and inspiration. So somebody put that in the chat. Put hashtag motivation, hashtag inspiration. And I'm going to ask you, what's the difference between the two? Okay, what's the difference between, what do you think motivation is, and what do you think inspiration is? And just by listening to it, you think that you know somehow they're different. Okay, they are. The words there, you may not be able to put your finger on it, but can somebody tell me, what do you think motivation is? And then someone to tell me what you think inspiration is. Okay. And so music says money. And I think, is that in response to your goals? I think that's in response to what your goal is. Okay. But tell me what the difference is between motivation and inspiration. And I'm going to use a few of the sentences. I feel motivated when I get some news from the doctor that I may need to lose weight. Okay. Maybe your blood pressure is high. Maybe your blood sugar is elevated. Maybe, the cholesterol is high. Okay. Maybe I feel motivated when I purchase something new. I signed up for a couple of new apps in the last couple of days. And what it did, it made me feel motivated to get to the items that the app is reminding me about. Okay. Maybe I signed up for a program. Maybe I signed up for maybe sign up for a master's program or a training. Maybe you signed up to do personal training. Okay. Those things are motivating. All right. So let's talk about inspiration. Okay. Maybe you were inspired when you heard someone's testimony. Maybe something happened in their life and now you feel inspired to, maybe they finished a race, a 5K, and now you feel inspired to sign up yourself. Or maybe someone started a business and they were successful and now they're able to do XYZ. They're feeding back into the community. That's something that will inspire you to maybe start your own business. Or maybe someone wrote a book and now you're thinking, you know what? I feel inspired to write the book. Okay. Now I could go on and on, but those are some scenarios where I'm using motivation separately from inspiration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down a little bit, and I'm going to use a story to help to explain the difference, or to outline it, to kind of bring it full circle. So I am a physician, and I remember when I was in residency. It's been a while. Okay, I'm not trying to date myself, but it's been a few decades. Okay, I'm going on year number 30, being a physician, and as I was in residency, and I know I don't look older than like 20, 21 maybe or so. I don't know. This make me feel good. So I remember one night I was taking call. And the way that call works, and when you're going through residency, so this is after, so I did 4 years of college, I did 4 years of medical school, and then I did 3 years of residency. So I was already a doctor, but I was doing my training because we had to get specialty training in order for me to become an internal medicine physician. Okay, so in those 3 years, there's you're an intern, which is your first year. The second year, you are now a resident. And then in the third year, or you're a junior resident, but then your third year, you're a senior resident. And the way that the process would work is that when you took call, there was a resident, and then you were paired with either a junior resident, a second year, or a third year resident. All three were not on call at the same time. It was your intern and then one of the residents. And so one particular night when I was an intern, we got slammed. Okay, when I say slammed, I mean slammed. We had so many patients that were being admitted or that needed to be admitted in the emergency room that we were backed up. And when I say slammed, I think it must have been like 10 patients, maybe even 12 patients. And the way that it worked is that the senior resident, or the resident, would go down and see the patient and do some preliminary work of, confirming that the patient needed to be admitted and where the patient would go, whether they would go to the general floor or whether they need to go to the ICU or someplace in between. And after they made that determination, it was up to the intern to come in and pretty much do all the work. And it took much longer for the intern to do the paperwork and to call the attending and all of the things. So, as I said, we were slammed. And I went to ask my senior resident at the time if he could help me, because sometimes the way that the teams would work is that the the senior resident would do the paperwork for the intern if we were backed up, so that we were working together. So at the end of the night, we were able to see all the patients, and we could maybe go to bed, get a nap, do whatever, but everyone was taken care of. And so I went to my senior resident and I asked him, I said, hey, can you help me? Okay. Can you help me? And I was surprised because his answer was no. Okay. Yeah, I know. He said no, that he was not going to help me. And I was so upset. And we were friends, actually. But in that moment, I felt like I was on an island by myself. And what I did is I walked away, and I had to gather myself because I'm on patient maybe number 5, and it is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had 7 more people to see. So in that moment, what I had to do was I had to dig deep, and I had to handle it. Okay, somebody put handle it. I just had to handle it. And by the morning, I was able to see the remaining patients and was able to now present my findings, present those patients to my attending, who was the head doctor who was over us the next morning. Okay. So for those that may be joining, what I'm doing is I'm talking about saying yes to more in 2024, but I'm talking about motivation and inspiration. And so this is the difference. When we talk about the scenario that I shared, by the end of the night, I had built up so much, I'm going to call it self-motivation, okay? Which is another key word is inspiration, okay? The motivation is generally external, okay? You are motivated by seeing or someone coming to help you. Okay, let's say we talked about the working out, okay? You're motivated by the trainer who says, all right, give me 1. All right, give me 2. Give me 3. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, that's external motivation. Okay, maybe you do have a business and you're trying to reach that financial goal, and you have a coach that says, you know what? Keep going. Keep going. You know what? Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should invest in that. Maybe you can do this. They're giving you advice that is motivating for you to now get to your goal. All right? When we talk about inspiration is internal. Okay? Internal motivation. It's internal motivation. Let's give you an example. And thank you, music. And hey, Kay. All right, handle it. Okay. Let's say you were homeless. All right, and your internal motivation is, I will never be homeless again. And so whatever I have to do, regardless of what job I have to take, regardless of, what town I need to move to or state I need to relocate to, I will never be homeless again. Or something, even if you have children, okay, if they need something, we have inspiration that they are not going to go without. No one has to tell you what it is. No one has to prompt you. No one has to push you. It's inspiration that starts from the inside. And so from that night of being on call with that doctor, and I handled it, he by default helped me foster inspiration for any challenge I now face in life. Regardless of what it is, I know that I can dig deep to get it done. All right. And so I'm not saying motivation is bad. I'm not saying inspiration is better. What I'm saying is that there is a difference. And now, as you look to the goals that you are setting, and I'm going to ask you again, for those that are in the chat, I want you to put in your goals for 2024. Okay, whether they are resolutions, just kind of throw one in. Music already said to stay healthy, and she says to complete some of her other goals as well. But I want you to put in what it is that is the goal. And what happens next is getting some motivation, but also having inspiration. And it's great to have both, but sometimes we only have motivation. You know, sometimes we only can muster up motivation. Sometimes we don't have any of it. Okay, well, let's start there. There's going to be three, maybe three phases. Okay, the first phase is you don't have any motivation. You don't have you kind of want it, but you don't really want it. You say you may want it. Okay, let's say health goals. Okay, who doesn't want to lose 20 pounds all the time? Okay, let's just say that. Okay, say an example of losing weight, losing those 20 pounds. We may want to, but we may not have the motivation to get it done. And so what do we do? Okay, motivation is good. We can buy motivation. Okay, we can get an app. We can order some new workout equipment, some new outfits. We can get a home gym. We can get a personal trainer. We can sign up for a weight loss plan. You know, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. Is Jenny Craig still here? I don't know. Maybe it's some of those new diets. We can go to keto. We can do the body type diet. We can get the little containers. We can do V-Shred. We can do whatever. I'm sure there's more. Somebody put what else is in there. You got the blood type diet, right? We can have external motivation. You can get a workout partner. What else can you get? You can get I told you, an app to remind you. You can do all of the things. Okay, that is external, and it is motivating. Okay, and I say do it. Okay, start with something that's going to help push the envelope and get you started. Okay, but what we really want to develop that inspiration, because that's the piece that's now going to lead to the next step. Okay, so let's talk about inspiration. Okay, that is the thing that's going to get you out of bed without someone else telling you you need to get up and get moving. Okay, the inspiration is going to get you continuing to work your business. Okay, without someone having to tell you or to push you. Okay, the inspiration is going to help you cross the finish line in that project or in that actual race. Okay, and again, sometimes you need motivation, sometimes you need inspiration, but I don't think you get to inspiration without, well, maybe, depends on what it is. I think you can have one without the other, but it's great to have both. Okay, so what is it that needs to happen as you're thinking about your goal? What is the motivating force and what is the inspiration force, okay? Because it's great to have both. It's great to have both. And so we're going to start, I'm going to give you some tips on ways to motivate yourself, okay, outside of what we've already done. And so if you have some tips of your own, I want you to throw that in the chat. What are you going to do in order to create that motivation? What are you going to do to create that inspiration? Okay, so I'm going to start off, and if you have some more, just throw them in the chat. So here are going to be a few ways to create some motivation. Okay, the first thing is to do some meditation. All right, and this is something that this is relatively new for me, and I know some folks, live by it. But the first one is to settle yourself, have some quiet moments, and meditate. And I remember when, before I knew much about it, I thought that there was a way to get it wrong. Okay, I don't think there is a wrong way to do motivation. It's kind of like I got some insight when I was learning more about yoga. Okay. And the thing about yoga is that, and I'm not that versed in it. I've done a little bit, I've dabbled a little bit, but the one thing about yoga that I love is they talk a lot about your mind. Okay. And, mindset and your breath and all of the things. And one thing they say is that if your mind starts to drift, it's not a problem. Okay. If it starts to go, when you start to meditate and you start thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, okay, they say it's not a problem. And this is in my yoga voice. It's not a problem. Okay. Just bring your mind back to center. Okay. And think about, have some grounding. Think about what you want to think about. Okay. And I think it's great to have some cleansing time to do that grounding, to figure out, we're going back to the why of what it is that you maybe want for that day, and to ground yourself and to say, you know what, where am I today? Check in with how I'm feeling. Maybe your thought for that day is peace. Maybe it's joy. Maybe it is power. Whatever that thing is, just kind of drop down and get centered and clear in your head as to what you want your day to look like. Okay. So that's the first thing. If someone could put that in the chat, quiet meditation. Okay. The second is to watch a motivational movie. Okay. Some of the ones that come to mind, I loved, Remember the Titans. That was a good one. And even what's the movie? Major Pain. That's funny, also motivational. And I'm sure there are lots of others. If you have one, drop that in the chat as well. So to watch something motivational, okay. There's also, you can watch a TED Talk. Okay. Generally, or listen to a motivational speaker. Okay. Someone who has a message that's going to motivate you to get to the next level. All right. The next is to create a vision board. Okay. If you do vision boards, I want you to raise your hand. Okay. Or say it in the chat. So vision boards are great. And I have actually, I would say for the last 3 years, I actually did an event where I actually was leading the vision board process. And the vision board is great. And this is what happens when I transitioned from resolutions to vision boarding, is that it gave me more specifics. I was able to vision what I wanted, and now was able to create a picture that I could now use and look at every day. There is you know how, think about a puzzle piece, a puzzle box, like a 500 puzzle or 100,000 piece puzzle. We have all these pieces in our lives, but if you don't have a picture of how the pieces fit together, it's going to be nearly impossible to put the pieces together. And so as you go through 2024, if you are a vision board kind of gal or guy, is I want you to go ahead and make sure that you do your vision board. And Kay says she does vision boards, yes. And the thing that I noticed when I did the vision board exercise is that now I had a picture that now I could create what was next. I had a visual of what it was. Okay. And actually this radio show, Up Sis Up, it wasn't on my vision board, but now I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. This was in the vision. Okay, so I'm going to put a pin in that for a second. But as you do the vision board, it gives you the visual of how you move forward and how you can now break down the individual pieces of your day to day, maybe your week, and maybe your month. Okay. And then, I'll go ahead and talk about the vision statement. So the thing that I learned about the vision board when I transitioned from the resolution is that my vision board is never the same thing every year. However, my resolutions were frequently the same. And I was living the same year over and over again because I had the same resolutions year after year after year. There was no depth there. There was no specifics. There wasn't enough. And I was stagnant. Okay. So if you're doing resolutions, I'm encouraging you to take the next step and do a vision board. And the other thing that happened is when I did the vision board is that I would say 90% of the things that I put on the board, I accomplished over that year. Why? Because I was seeing it and it was broken down into smaller steps. And it was helping me to create the pathway. Okay. So we're at resolution. Now we're at the vision board. And now I'm going to take you to the vision statement. Okay. The vision statement is an extension of the vision board, and it allows you to write the vision and make it plain. It gives more detail as to what it is you're trying to accomplish and what it is the steps in order to get there. And so when you do a vision statement, when you craft the vision statement, it helps you. It is normally like a 3-year period of when the vision statement is going to be implemented. And what it does, it helps you know exactly what it is that you're doing for the year. But it also helps those who you come in contact with to have an understanding of where they fit into your plan. And it helps you to know what doesn't fit. And so I talked about this radio show. The radio show was part of my vision statement. And so when the opportunity came up, even though I hadn't planned on doing a show, because it aligned with my vision statement, I went ahead and took the leap and said yes to this great opportunity. And now almost 6 months, 8 months, I think it's been 8 months. 8 months later, I am now have the opportunity to share to encourage, to uplift all of the women, all of the individuals who tune in. And I said we have over 400,000 listeners, viewers on the MSE network, and we're in over 12 countries. Okay. And it's because my part of it, I wrote the vision, and then when the opportunity came, I was able to say yes to that vision. Okay. So if you're in the resolution stage, that's great, because some people don't have any goals. Okay. Generally. Okay. But if you're in the resolution stage, great job. Keep going, keep going. If you are ready to move into the vision boarding, do that. But then I also encourage you to take a step and to do the vision statement. Okay, it's going to take a little bit more energy, but when you do the vision statement, now you have a clearer picture of where you are and what it is you need and what the bigger long-term goals are. Okay? So, what we're doing, we're setting ourselves up for success. We're saying yes to more in 2024. We're talking about open doors. We're talking about bigger dreams, and we're talking about bigger goals, and we're talking about more success. And when we talk about more, I want to talk about this a little bit. All right. And there is the thought of being content versus being complacent. Okay. Being content versus being complacent. And I remember there was a time where I did not think that that's a better word, that I should want more. Okay. If you want more out of life, I want you to put more in the chat. Okay. If you want more, put more in the chat. And I also want to know if you ever thought that having more was a bad thing. Okay. Do you think having more is a bad thing? And so I am faith-based. And one of the things that I always thought that wanting more was not good. But I also didn't want to be complacent. And so the thing that I got to a place of is I understood the word a little bit more. And there's a scripture that says God will give you exceedingly and abundantly above all that you ask or even think. Okay. He gave us gifts, but he's saying that he's going to give you exceedingly and abundantly more. Somebody say more, more that you can ask or even think. And so a lot of times we ask for here. And so God is going to give you something here, okay, above where my hand is. But if you ask for more, and say I'm putting my hand up for those that are listening and not on the video, say I'm putting my hand up to the top of my head, okay? And he's going to give you more above the top of my head, okay? So just by definition, he is going to exceed what we ask for. And there is also the parable where the parable of the talents, and the owner of the facility or the land who was wealthy, he goes off and he gives talents to those that are his workers. He gives, two talents to one, gives 5 talents to the other, he gives 10 talents to the third. And the one with the 2 talents buries his talents. Okay. The one with the 5 doubled his, and the one with the 10 doubled his. And so when the master comes back, he scolds the one who didn't do anything with his talents. And that's where a lot of us are. We are living underneath of our potential. we're not using our talents, if you will, right? Those gifts that have been given to us, and we're not asking and seeking the more. And so that's the big take home as we go into 2024, as we're in 2024, as you are about to embark on this new season of life. The theme is saying yes to more in 2024, saying yes to more in 2024, asking for those things, using the talents that we do have, leaning into it, because when we now access and tap into our gifting, we are now able to give more. We're able to do more, and we're able to help those who need us more. And so my question to you is, are you ready to say more or say yes to more in 2024? Are you willing to say yes to more in 2024? And if you're saying yes, I want you to put yes in the chat. Say yes to more in 2024. This is the year of open doors. This is the year of opportunity. And this is the year of success. Okay? Success because we have been given it. Okay? There's a scripture that says, to whom much is given, much is required. All right? We've been given more. We've been given it. And so now we're being charged with doing something with it. That the idea that has been downloaded to you is not by accident. But what we do is we sit on it. We wait for it to be confirmed over and over and over again. We put question marks where there should be periods. But it's now time to take action. It's time to do more with what we have. Okay, stop living underneath of your potential. Okay, those goals, I want you to dream bigger. I want you to blow it up. Okay, get perspective, but get bigger with it. Okay, supersize your dreams, because God is going to exceed it. He's going to give more of it to you. All right. So as we get ready to close tonight, I want to also give, thank you, Kay. I also want to give you also another little nugget. And I told you, we talked about motivation. We talked about inspiration. We want to have inspiration. We want internal. I'm going to call it internal motivation, which is another word for inspiration. But sometimes we have to get it from someplace else. Sometimes we have to invest in it. Sometimes we have to get some help. And so there's something that I'm doing this year, and it is called Motivational Mornings with Dr. Marcia. And it is a dose of external motivation to get you going. And so we're going to put that in the chat. There's a link to it. And it is weekly motivation to help you get out of bed, okay? To help you to get you going each morning, and to get you on your way to your success. There's so much in store in this next year, so much power, so much success just waiting for you. And so again, we're going to put it in the chat for you to get there so you can come along with me on this journey. And so we're saying yes to more of 2024 success. Thank you, music. We're saying yes, yes, yes to more in 2024. So I have a lineup of amazing speakers and coaches and entrepreneurs and those that have a message of how to open up the door, how to open up your success to more coming in this year here on Up Sis Up. If you are a motivational speaker and you want to get on the show, go ahead and drop me a line. You can go to drmarcia.com. You can also go to the MSE Network and send me a message via the email system. You can put something in the chat right now. There are so many ways to connect with me. And I am a Master Destiny Life Coach. And there's so many opportunities for growth this year. As Rich Live said, if you don't do anything, you'll be sitting in the same spot December 31st. And we're not doing that here on Up Sis Up. We are motivated and inspired to be different in 2024 because we're saying yes to more in 2024 and beyond. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. This is going to be an awesome year and a year of success, a year of more, and a year of saying yes. So with that, I will see you next week right here on Up Sis Up, here on MSE Network, Megasource Entertainment. Until next time, good night.
Hi, and welcome to the Girl Boss Life Academy. I am Dr. Marcia, and I am your Master Destiny Life Coach. And I specialize in helping women to discover who they are, to decide what they want, and then to deliver on their destiny. But what is a girl boss? And I believe every strong woman is powered by the girl boss inside, who is strong, who is tenacious, who is powerful, but who also needs to be encouraged, who also needs to be supported, and who also needs to be loved. And that's what we do here at the Girl Boss Life Academy. And so we help you to redefine who you are, help you to refocus on your goals, and also helps you to redirect your path so that you get to that destination. I remember when I needed that life coach, the decades upon decades of me not knowing the answers, me not feeling confident to make the decisions I needed to make. And so that is what we do here at Girl Boss Life Academy. I use my transformational coaching method to help you to boss up both in life and in leadership. For those that are ready, go ahead and click and register to get my free gift to you. And you can also learn more about the coaching program. It's time to boss up both in life and in leadership.